Welcome to Book Buzz Reviews and Summaries. Imagine a world where the very traits that society often labels as impulsive, risky, or even a little crazy are actually the secret ingredients to extraordinary success. What if the relentless energy, boundless enthusiasm, and fearless ambition that define some of the greatest leaders, entrepreneurs, and visionaries throughout history weren't flaws, but rather the very foundation of their achievements? Welcome to the Hypomanic Edge, the link between a little craziness and a lot of success in America by John D. Gartner. A book that dares to explore the fine line between genius and madness and why those who walk it often change the world. This book isn't just about historical figures. It's about understanding the unique psychological profile that drives people to take risks, disrupt industries, and defy conventional wisdom. From the explosive charisma of Alexander Hamilton to the relentless innovation of Steve Jobs, the Hypomanic Edge reveals how America's greatest success stories have often been fueled by a state of mind that hovers just below full-blown mania, hypomania. It's a fascinating, eye-opening journey into the psychology of high achievers, the cultural forces that shape them, and what their stories can teach us about unlocking our own potential. But let's step back for a moment. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to have an unstoppable drive, a near-obsessive focus, and an ability to turn their wildest ideas into reality? Why do certain individuals take massive risks, bounce back from failure with uncanny resilience, and seem to thrive on chaos? More importantly, could you possess a spark of this same hypomanic energy? If so, how can you harness it for success while avoiding its pitfalls? Gartner's research doesn't just highlight the brilliance of hypomanic individuals, it also delves into the challenges that come with this trait. Because while hypomania can lead to groundbreaking innovation and immense wealth, it can also result in recklessness, burnout, and self-destruction. Understanding this balance is key, and this book offers a compelling roadmap for recognizing the traits in yourself and others, learning from history's most dynamic figures, and channeling your energy in ways that lead to long-term success rather than fleeting bursts of greatness. As you turn the pages of the Hypomanic Edge, prepare to challenge everything you thought you knew about success, ambition, and the psychology behind America's greatest movers and shakers. This is more than a book. It's a revelation, an invitation to embrace the restless, bold, and driven spirit that fuels progress and shapes the world. So buckle up, because this journey into the mind of the risk-takers, rule-breakers, and history-makers is about to begin. Part 1 Summary. John D. Gartner's The Hypomanic Edge is a fascinating exploration of how a mild form of mania, hypomania, has played a pivotal role in shaping America's entrepreneurial, political, and cultural success. Gartner argues that the country's historical roots, immigrant-driven ambition, and economic system have fostered a society where hypomanic traits, relentless drive, boundless energy, risk-taking, and charisma thrive. In Part 1, Gartner introduces his core thesis, that many of America's most influential figures exhibited hypomanic tendencies, a state of heightened mood and energy that falls just short of full-blown mania. These individuals are visionaries, entrepreneurs, and leaders who take extraordinary risks, persist against all odds, and push the boundaries of what is possible. But this hypomanic edge comes at a cost: emotional volatility, impulsivity, and, at times, destructive tendencies. Chapter 1. The Hypomanic American. Gartner opens with a provocative question: what makes America different from the rest of the world? He argues that America has been shaped by people with a unique psychological profile, immigrants who are not only ambitious, but also hypomanic. He presents evidence that immigrants, by nature, are risk-takers. Leaving one's homeland, abandoning security, and venturing into the unknown require an extraordinary level of self-confidence, optimism, and energy, all hallmarks of hypomania. This high-energy personality type, Gartner suggests, has been passed down through generations, creating a culture that rewards relentless ambition. To illustrate his point, he compares America's economic dynamism with more traditional, risk-averse societies, highlighting how American capitalism thrives on innovation and disruption. This restless energy, he argues, is why the country has produced an outsized number of entrepreneurs and global leaders. Chapter 2: The Hypomanic Mindset, Fuel for Success or Self-Destruction. In this chapter, Gartner delves deeper into the psychology of hypomania. He explains that hypomania is a state of elevated mood characterized by grandiose ideas and high self-confidence, restless energy and hyperproductivity, impulsivity and risk-taking, charisma and the ability to inspire others, rapid speech and racing thoughts. While these traits can drive massive success, they also come with pitfalls. Hypomanics can be irritable, prone to reckless decisions, and suffer from crashes when their energy burns out. Gartner describes hypomania as a double-edged sword. It creates visionaries but also volatile personalities. He backs up his claims with scientific studies on bipolar spectrum disorders, showing that many hypomanic individuals don't necessarily suffer from full-blown mania but still exhibit an unusual level of drive and persistence. Chapter 3: Christopher Columbus, the first hypomanic American. Gartner shifts to historical case studies, beginning with Christopher Columbus. He paints a striking portrait of Columbus as an obsessive dreamer with unwavering confidence in his own destiny. Columbus's hypomanic traits included relentless belief in his mission, even when others doubted him, charismatic persuasion that secured funding from Spain's monarchs, a reckless willingness to risk everything on a dangerous voyage, grandiosity. He believed he was fulfilling a divine prophecy. Gartner argues that Columbus's story sets the stage for America's future, a land built by risk-takers, visionaries, and individuals driven by an almost manic determination to achieve greatness. Chapter 4: The Founding Fathers, Hypomanic Revolutionaries. The American Revolution was not just a political movement, it was a hypomanic uprising. Gartner explores how many of America's founding fathers exhibited hypomanic traits, particularly Alexander Hamilton, brilliant, ambitious, and hyperactive. Hamilton was constantly generating ideas, pushing for radical change, and engaging in intense rivalries. His boundless energy and vision helped lay the foundation for America's economic system. Thomas Jefferson, a polymath and relentless innovator, Jefferson was constantly working on new projects, from politics to architecture to science. His restless intellect and vision for America's future reflected classic hypomanic characteristics. Benjamin Franklin, a serial entrepreneur, inventor, and diplomat, Franklin embodied the hypomanic spirit with his insatiable curiosity and ability to reinvent himself. Gartner argues that the American Revolution succeeded because it was fueled by the manic energy of its leaders, men who refused to accept limitations and pushed forward with unwavering conviction. Chapter 5: Andrew Carnegie, the Industrial Hypomanic. Moving into the industrial era, Gartner examines the life of Andrew Carnegie, one of America's first great business titans. Carnegie rose from a poor Scottish immigrant to one of the wealthiest men in history, embodying the hypomanic spirit of relentless ambition and innovation. Carnegie worked tirelessly, sometimes sleeping only a few hours a night. He constantly sought new opportunities, investing in industries before others saw their potential. His ability to inspire and lead others made him a formidable force in American industry. However, his drive often pushed him into ruthless business tactics, and he later sought redemption through philanthropy. Carnegie's story highlights both the brilliance and dark side of hypomania, the unrelenting drive that creates industry giants, but can also lead to ethical compromises. Chapter 6: The California Gold Rush, Hypomania in the Wild West. Gartner argues that the gold rush was the ultimate hypomanic event in American history. Thousands of fortune seekers abandoned everything to chase dreams of wealth, displaying extreme optimism, even when the odds were against them, high risk tolerance, willing to venture into dangerous, unknown territory, restless ambition, always searching for the next big opportunity. Many who struck it rich were not just lucky, they were the ones with the energy, drive, and willingness to take massive risks. The gold rush reinforced America's culture of ambition and risk-taking, laying the psychological groundwork for future industries like Silicon Valley. Chapter 7: The Birth of an Entrepreneurial Nation. In the final chapter of Part 1, Gartner connects the dots between history and modern America. He argues that the entrepreneurial spirit, deeply embedded in the country's DNA, is a direct product of the hypomanic mindset. Whether it was explorers, revolutionaries, industrialists, or pioneers, America was built by individuals who refused to accept limits and constantly pushed forward. He hints at how this spirit continues today in technology, finance, and entertainment, setting the stage for the next section of the book, where he will explore contemporary hypomanic figures like Steve Jobs and Bill Clinton. Conclusion of Part 1. Gartner's opening section is a thrilling deep dive into the psychological forces that shaped America. His argument, that hypomania has fueled the country's greatest achievements, is both compelling and provocative. He blends historical analysis, psychology, and storytelling to create a narrative that is as entertaining as it is insightful. By the end of Part 1, listeners are left eager to explore more. How does hypomania manifest in today's world? What are the personal costs of this psychological profile? Can hypomania be harnessed for success without self-destruction? With these questions lingering, the hypomanic edge promises an even more captivating journey in the next section, where Gartner will examine modern hypomanic figures and their impact on business, politics, and culture. Part 2 Summary. After exploring the historical roots of hypomania in America in Part 1, Part 2 shifts focus to modern examples of hypomanic leaders and entrepreneurs who have shaped contemporary society. Gartner argues that these individuals, just like their historical predecessors, possess boundless energy, grand ambitions, and an insatiable drive to create, disrupt, and dominate. However, with these strengths come darker traits, volatility, impulsiveness, and, at times, self-destructive tendencies. This section is packed with compelling case studies of influential figures in business, politics, and culture, demonstrating how hypomania continues to be a defining trait of America's most successful individuals. Chapter 8: Bill Clinton, the Hypomanic Politician. Gartner begins Part 2 by analyzing one of the most charismatic and controversial politicians in modern history, Bill Clinton. He describes Clinton as the quintessential hypomanic, a man of boundless energy, charm, and ambition, but also prone to impulsive decisions and reckless behavior. Clinton's hypomanic traits: unstoppable drive. From his youth, Clinton was obsessed with politics, networking tirelessly and seizing every opportunity to rise. Charismatic persuasion. His ability to connect with people, inspire loyalty, and sell his vision is classic hypomania. Incredible energy. Clinton worked long hours, often surviving on little sleep, thriving in high-pressure environments. Risk-taking and impulsivity. His personal scandals, particularly his affair with Monica Lewinsky, are examples of the downside of his hypomanic tendencies. Gartner argues that Clinton's rise and fall reflect the dual nature of hypomania. It can elevate a person to incredible heights, but unchecked, it can also lead to their downfall. Chapter 9: Steve Jobs, the Hypomanic Visionary. If there's one modern figure who perfectly embodies hypomania, it's Steve Jobs. Gartner paints a vivid portrait of Jobs as an obsessive, driven innovator whose grandiosity and manic work ethic revolutionized the tech industry. Jobs' hypomanic traits: unshakable belief in his vision. Jobs refused to accept limits. He believed he could put a dent in the universe and pursued his ideas with an almost religious intensity. Extreme perfectionism. His obsession with detail and refusal to compromise made Apple products revolutionary. Tireless work ethic. Jobs worked relentlessly, expecting the same from his employees, often pushing them to their limits. Brilliant but volatile. He could be charming and inspiring one moment and cruel the next, another hallmark of hypomania. Gartner suggests that Jobs' success came from the productive side of hypomania, relentless ambition, risk-taking, and the ability to inspire others. However, his darker side, including his notorious temper and ruthless decision-making, made him a difficult figure to work with. Chapter 10. Donald Trump, the hypomanic businessman turned president. Gartner takes on another highly controversial figure, Donald Trump. Whether admired or criticized, Trump's energy, self-confidence, and risk-taking behavior align with the hypomanic personality profile. Trump's hypomanic traits: relentless self-promotion. From real estate to reality TV, Trump built a brand based on grandiosity and confidence. High energy and stamina. Even in his 70s, Trump maintained a rigorous schedule, often tweeting late at night and making high-energy public appearances. Risk-taking and impulsivity. His business career is filled with high-stakes gambles, some of which paid off: Trump Tower, and others that failed: Trump Airlines, Trump University. Charisma and divisiveness. Like many hypomanics, he inspires intense loyalty from followers but also provokes strong opposition. Gartner does not make a political argument, but rather uses Trump as a modern case study of how hypomania shapes leadership styles and decision-making. Chapter 11. Richard Branson, the hypomanic entrepreneur. Gartner then turns to another larger-than-life business mogul, Richard Branson, the billionaire founder of Virgin Group. Branson, unlike Jobs or Trump, channels his hypomania into a more playful, adventurous, and highly successful approach to business. Branson's hypomanic traits: boundless energy and optimism. Branson constantly seeks new challenges, from launching Virgin Records to creating Virgin Galactic. Risk-taking mindset. He thrives on ventures others would avoid, such as his attempts at space tourism. Infectious charisma. His charm and adventurous spirit attract customers and investors alike. Restlessness and constant innovation. Branson never settles. He's always looking for the next big thing. Branson's story illustrates the more positive side of hypomania. When channeled effectively, it can drive massive success without as many destructive consequences. Chapter 12. The dark side of hypomania, when success turns to self-destruction. While the previous chapters showcase the success of hypomanic individuals, Gartner now explores the costs of hypomania, the crashes, scandals, and self-inflicted downfalls. Many hypomanic figures experience a burnout phase, where their energy turns into exhaustion, depression, or destructive behavior. Common pitfalls of hypomania: burnout. Constant work and high energy can lead to physical and mental collapse. Impulsivity. Risk-taking without caution can result in failed ventures, lawsuits, or public scandals. Relationship struggles. Hypomanics often struggle with personal relationships due to their intensity and volatility. Ego and grandiosity. Some hypomanics begin to believe they are infallible, leading to disastrous decisions. Gartner warns that while hypomania can lead to extreme success, it requires self-awareness and discipline to avoid self-destruction. Chapter 13. The Future of Hypomania in America. In the final chapter of Part 2, Gartner broadens his perspective, asking, is hypomania still driving America's success? In Silicon Valley, hypomanic entrepreneurs are still shaping the future. Figures like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos exhibit the same relentless drive and grandiosity as historical figures. In politics, hypomanic leaders continue to dominate as their charisma and energy appeal to voters. In entertainment and media, hypomanic personalities captivate audiences, whether in film, music, or television. However, Gartner also notes a cultural shift. Mental health awareness is increasing, leading some to question the hustle culture driven by hypomania. More structured corporate environments may limit the influence of extreme risk takers. Technology is changing the game, allowing individuals to achieve success without the relentless face-to-face networking that hypomania once required. Despite these changes, Gartner predicts that hypomanic individuals will continue to shape the world, as their energy, confidence, and willingness to take risks are deeply embedded in American culture. Conclusion of Part 2. Part 2 of The Hypomanic Edge is an exhilarating exploration of modern hypomania in action. Gartner weaves together compelling case studies, psychological insights, and cultural analysis to show how restless ambition continues to define success in America. By the end of this section, listeners are left pondering, can hypomania be controlled, or does it always lead to burnout? Is America's obsession with high-energy leaders and entrepreneurs sustainable? How can individuals harness their own hypomanic traits for success without falling into self-destructive patterns? With these questions in mind, the stage is set for Part 3, where Gartner will explore the science, psychology, and future implications of hypomania in America. Part 3 Summary. After examining the historical roots of hypomania in America, Part 1, and profiling modern figures who embody hypomanic traits, Part 2, Part 3 takes a deeper dive into the psychology, science, and future implications of hypomania. Gartner explores the biological and genetic basis of hypomania, the thin line between success and self-destruction, how hypomania continues to shape entrepreneurship, innovation, and leadership, ways to harness hypomanic traits without burning out. This final section is both insightful and thought-provoking, offering a mix of scientific research, real-world examples, and practical advice for understanding and managing hypomania. Chapter 14. The Science of Hypomania, Nature or Nurture. Gartner dives into the biological underpinnings of hypomania, asking, are people born hypomanic, or is it shaped by their environment? Genetic influences. Studies suggest that hypomania runs in families, meaning there is a hereditary component. Research on bipolar disorder, which shares similarities with hypomania, indicates a strong genetic link. Dopamine and serotonin imbalances in the brain are often found in hypomanic individuals. Environmental triggers. Childhood experiences play a crucial role. Many hypomanic individuals come from high-achieving, competitive families. Immigrant mentality. Gartner revisits the idea that America, a nation of immigrants, naturally selects for risk-takers and ambitious individuals. Early success or failure can either reinforce or suppress hypomanic traits. Gartner suggests that hypomania is a combination of genetics and life experience. Some people may have a biological predisposition, but their environment determines whether it flourishes. Chapter 15. Hypomania versus bipolar disorder, the crucial difference. One of the biggest questions surrounding hypomania is it just a mild form of bipolar disorder? Key differences. Bipolar disorder involves extreme mood swings between mania and deep depression. Hypomania is a persistent state of elevated energy without the extreme lows of bipolar disorder. Many successful hypomanic individuals never experience full-blown mania or depression. They stay in a high-functioning sweet spot. However, Gartner warns that untreated hypomania can spiral into full-blown mania, leading to financial ruin, relationship destruction, or mental health crises. This chapter serves as a cautionary note. While hypomania has benefits, it must be managed carefully to avoid self-destruction. Chapter 16. The Neuroscience of Success. Why Hypomanics Win. Gartner explores how hypomania provides a competitive advantage in business, politics, and creative fields. The hypomanic brain at work. Fast, creative thinking. Hypomanics make rapid connections between ideas, leading to groundbreaking innovations. Confidence and charisma. Their magnetic personality draws people in and inspires loyalty. Energy and endurance. They outwork their competition, often thriving on little sleep. Resilience. They are obsessively driven and bounce back from failure faster than most people. Gartner argues that hypomanics are wired for success, explaining why so many top entrepreneurs, leaders, and visionaries exhibit hypomanic traits. Chapter 17. The downside, when hypomania becomes dangerous. Despite its advantages, hypomania has serious risks. In this chapter, Gartner outlines common pitfalls that can derail even the most successful hypomanics. Warning signs of hypomanic downfall. 1. Overconfidence leading to reckless decisions, e.g., taking massive financial risks without thinking. 2. Burnout from working too hard without rest. 3. Damaged relationships due to impatience, irritability, or arrogance. 4. Substance abuse as a coping mechanism for nonstop energy and racing thoughts. 5. Grandiosity leading to delusions of invincibility, e.g., believing they are above the rules. Gartner uses real-life cautionary tales of brilliant minds who self-destructed, including business tycoons, Hollywood stars, and Wall Street investors who lost everything due to unchecked hypomania. This chapter is a wake-up call. Harnessing hypomania requires self-awareness and control. Chapter 18. Managing Hypomania. How to stay in the success zone. Gartner offers practical strategies for hypomanic individuals to maximize their strengths while avoiding burnout and self-destruction. How to channel hypomania productively. Structure and discipline. Creating daily routines helps control impulsivity. Surrounding yourself with grounding people. Having practical, level-headed mentors or partners can balance hypomanic tendencies. Taking strategic breaks. Rest and downtime prevent burnout. Avoiding overcommitment. Focus on a few high-impact goals rather than trying to do everything at once. Self-awareness and therapy. Recognizing warning signs of excessive risk-taking or burnout is crucial. By following these principles, hypomanic individuals can thrive without crashing. Chapter 19. The Future of Hypomania. A Blessing or a Curse. In the final chapter, Gartner asks, will hypomania continue to be America's driving force, or will it become a liability? Factors that may reduce the influence of hypomania. Mental health awareness. Society is becoming more cautious about extreme personalities. Corporate structures favoring stability over risk-taking. Work-life balance culture discouraging obsessive work habits. Why hypomania will still shape the future. Innovation still rewards risk-takers like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg. Hypomanic energy is irreplaceable in leadership, entrepreneurship, and creativity. America's cultural DNA still celebrates ambition and confidence. Gartner ultimately argues that hypomania will always be a crucial ingredient in success, but only those who learn to manage it wisely will truly thrive. Conclusion of Part 3. The hypomanic advantage, if controlled. The final section of the hypomanic edge provides a fascinating mix of science, psychology, and practical advice, leaving readers with a deep understanding of what makes hypomanics tick. The key takeaways. Hypomania is both a gift and a curse. It can lead to extraordinary success or catastrophic failure. Understanding and managing hypomania is the secret to staying in the success zone without burning out. America continues to reward hypomanic personalities, ensuring that risk-takers, visionaries, and relentless entrepreneurs will always shape the future. Gartner's final message? If you have hypomanic traits, embrace them, but control them. That's the key to using the hypomanic edge to your advantage. Final thoughts. Why the Hypomanic Edge is a must-read. This book is eye-opening, engaging, and packed with fascinating insights. Gartner combines historical analysis, modern case studies, and cutting-edge psychology to explain why a little craziness is often the secret to success. If you're an entrepreneur, leader, or someone who thrives on big ideas and relentless ambition, this book will give you powerful insights into your own mind and teach you how to harness your own hypomanic edge. Thanks for listening. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to get new video updates.